Have you ever felt that pressure? You know, the idea that once you hit a certain age, you're over the hill? It feels like society puts us in this box. Well, in this explainer, we're going to tear that box apart and look at the whole adventure of life from a completely different angle.
I mean, just let that sink in for a second. 29? At Google, one of the most innovative companies on the planet, people are worried they're already obsolete. Isn't that wild? It's the perfect snapshot of our culture's obsession with youth, and it really sets the stage for everything we're about to get into.
All right, first up, let's talk about this over-the-hill box. We're going to look at how society's view of aging really tries to pin us down, especially when it comes to our careers. So you've got these two totally different ways of looking at life, right? On one side, you have society's story. It's a losing battle. You're over the hill at 40. You're washed up by 55. But on the other side, it's the complete opposite. Age is timeless. Life is a journey of discovery. Like a fine wine, you just get better. The choice between these two mindsets, well, that's where it all begins.
And this isn't just some abstract concept. The author shares this really powerful story. He has a phone interview, right? And he absolutely nails it. They literally tell him it's the best one they've ever had. So he walks in the next day, and what happens? The interviewer's jaw just drops. And that's it. That incredible conversation? Gone, just erased by the sight of his age. It's such a raw, real example of how that over-the-hill mindset can make people completely blind.
Okay, so it's easy to point fingers at society, right? But what if the biggest hurdle isn't out there? What if it's in here? That brings us to our next big idea, breaking free from autopilot. Who is really in control of your life? Get ready for this number because it's a big one. 95%. Think about that for a second. 95% of what you do every single day, your habits, your reactions, your choices, it's all coming from your subconscious mind. It's like we're running on pre-installed software without even knowing it. Which of course leads to the big question, who is really in control? If you're only consciously making 5% of your decisions, are you actually driving the car? Or are you just a passenger following a map someone else programmed a long time ago? It's a heavy thought, for sure. So how does this whole autopilot thing actually work? Well, it's all about our neural networks. See, every time you think a thought or perform an action, you're carving a little pathway in your brain. And the more you do it, the deeper that pathway gets. So your habits, the good ones and the bad ones, they aren't just ideas. They are physically hardwired into your brain. So if we're hardwired, does that mean we're stuck for good? Absolutely not. And this is where things get really interesting. The key to breaking free is realizing that there's this entire universe of untapped potential right inside of you. The author gives this inner universe a name, the quantum field. Now don't get hung up on the physics of it. Think of it more like a metaphor for this field of pure potential and intelligence that exists beyond our normal everyday sense of time and space. You've heard this idea before, just with different names. The Buddha mind, the kingdom of heaven. It's a deep well of wisdom we can all learn to tap into. I love this way of thinking about it. Instead of looking outside for a pill to fix something, just imagine that your body is its own perfect custom pharmacy. It knows the exact chemical formula, the exact hormone it needs to create to bring you back into balance. And the best part? No side effects, and it's open 24/7. The main point here is that this isn't some far-out mystical concept. The author argues that we're already fully equipped. Our body's the hardware, our mind is the software, and we are literally built to discover this jewel within. This is what the great spiritual teachers throughout history understood, and that knowledge is our birthright. All right, so we've been talking about some pretty big, mind-bending ideas. But how do we actually bring this into our day-to-day lives? That's what this section's all about, finding some practical wisdom for the adventure. Let's start with something really simple. Just look at this chart. A child smiles about 400 times a day. 400. The average adult? 15. What happened to us? Somewhere along the way, we get so caught up in being serious that we lose this basic, fundamental source of joy. This is a huge wake-up call, isn't it? So how do we get back there? Well, the author offers some beautiful advice. It's about simple things, like being kind and learning from our mistakes. And I love this one. Smile at everyone, even your bullies, because they're probably in pain. But it's also about doing the deep work. You got to cultivate your inner garden. That means removing the boulders, the rocks, and the weeds of your past that are holding you back. And never forget, life is an incredible adventure. And just when you think it's all deep and serious, we get this gem. As the great philosopher Bugs Bunny once said, "Don't take life so seriously. You will never get out of it alive."
I mean, how perfect is that? It's all about finding that balance. Do the inner work, absolutely, but don't forget to laugh along the way.
So let's bring this all together. If we stop seeing life as a hill we have to get over, what is it instead? It's an infinite journey. The adventure doesn't really have an end. In a way, it's always just beginning.
And if there's one thing to take away from all of this, it's this right here. We spend so much of our lives thinking the battle is out there, against our job, against society, against other people. The author flips this completely. The real battle is internal. Your thoughts, your beliefs, your actions, they create the world you experience around you. We've had it backwards this whole time. So I'll leave you with this final thought. You are not over the hill, not even close. The journey has just begun, and the adventure never truly ends. So the only question left is, what are you doing to discover yourself?